Salmaso writes, if you guys could create a new category for the Oscars, what would it be and why?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a funny question because certainly two often come up to me a lot. One is stunt performances is one that's often brought up to me. One is motion capture, if that's going to have to become a category at some point. And then some people have suggested going the way of the Golden Globes and creating stupid categories like best comedy or musical. What comedies and musicals have in common, I have no idea. Right. But say creating different categories for genres, like best comedy, best action film, best sci-fi, stuff like that. I'm not for that. I'm also not for best motion capture performance yet. I don't want to have a category for best motion capture until there's one movie a week coming out with a significant motion capture performance in it. And we're not there yet. But at some point, if it becomes like that, we're going to have to. So right now, what category do I want to see? I don't think I'd want to see the addition of any new categories right now myself.
I've got one.
What's
casting director.
Ooh, that's a good
It's
one.
like the whole reason you have the Oscars and why you're nominating actors in the first place is because somebody got them the role. And that's something that's not been honored since we've started this whole thing. I think it's high time to actually give the people who actually cast the movies an Oscar.
Here's a question. Does that then become, and I'm playing devil's advocate here because this isn't a rhetorical question, does that then just become almost a throwaway category in the sense of how can Johnny Depp win Best Actor in, Norbit 2 and not give the award for best casting then to if he won best actor, that means automatically should go to the best
because I think casting director, if they chose that category, it would be like a best picture. It would be like the casting of this like Birdman would be a perfect example.
Ensemble cast world,
you wove an entire incredible world together with all the people, the character actors that you plucked out, the leads, everything. That's what a movie. That's how you make a movie.
I wouldn't hate a best comedy category either. It's stupid to lump them with musicals, though. It's like, oh, those are two light and airy things that you like to watch. I think a comedy category would be fantastic. Right. But we just had a question on AMC, 2 days ago, when somebody wrote in, hey, should we get rid of half of these awards because we're so sick of how long the show goes? So let's not make the show any longer. Let's keep it the way it is.
I would put it in the second night. All right, what's next?
Evan writes, what's your favorite villain performance in a movie?
Villain performance. That's an interesting one because that's a little bit different from just who's your favorite villain. Favorite villain obviously is Darth Vader. Who do you say?
Hans Gruber.
I was going to say Alan Rickman is Hans Gruber.
Hans Gruber is like top to bottom. He's a great villain, and it's a great villain performance. So that's my pick.
Chiwetel Ejiofor in Serenity. I know I go back to that one all the time. Seriously, his villain in that is chilling. It's so good. Can you guys think of any?
I have a Mount Rushmore of movie villains I'd like to share with everyone. If you get 4, this is what the monument's going to look like, and it's going to be really cool. You got the Wicked Witch of the West over here. Right. You got the shark from Jaws. You got Darth Vader, and then you got Chet from Weird Science.
Nice.
They're all up there together.
I carve a 5th one on top of your mountain. Heath Ledger as the Joker.
What about
that's one of the great performances.
Hannibal Lecter, Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins' performances.
He gets a little mini head on the
You guys are ruining my statue. We destroyed his Mount Rushmore.
All right, what's next?
Jai Patel writes, Schwarzenegger or Stallone? Who's had the greater career as an action star or overall?
Ew.
Okay, the important part of that question is action star. If you're going to limit it to just that, I will go with Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you're going to open it up a little bit more and just say overall, I'll go Stallone. But just action, I'll go with Schwarzenegger. You guys?
Overall career is definitely Stallone. The greatest action star of all time is still Arnold Schwarzenegger. Nobody was ever bigger in his prime than Arnold Schwarzenegger was, so he wins.
Literally or figuratively.
And he's coming back in Genesis or whatever it's called.
Genesis. And it's funny because Stallone is the prototype for what The Rock is, right?
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger was the greatest action star, not just because he was a huge, hulking Mr. Olympia type of guy, not just because he could physically carry out all the stuff and make it fun, but he's also had the charisma. And that's what, The Rock is really just Arnold Schwarzenegger 2.0. Just as a better actor. But that's really the prototype for a great action star, and he will always be the king of that, I think. All right, what's next?
Sahil writes, hello, do you think 50 Shades will get a sequel?
Which one?
50 Shades.
50 Shades of Grey.
This is a no-brainer. That film has already sold more advance tickets than any R-rated film in history. The film's not going to be a billion-dollar film, but it's going to make money hand over fist. It's an automatic. There's going to be a sequel. Absolutely.
That thing is going to be like the Saw of Valentine's Day. You're going to get one every year, and a lot like Saw, it's going to be torturous on men, but we're willing to suffer through it.
Oh,
for
I
your
don't think
girls.
it's going to be that torturous. What were you just telling me before we went to air that there's like how many minutes of this movie is actual just sex?
Yeah, the 50 Shades of
It's not
Grey,
so
1/5. 20 minutes, over 20 minutes of the film are sex scenes.
I would like my previous statement stricken from the record. Let's have a 50 Shades of Grey every year.
All right, let's take one last one for the
All right,
day.
Henry Mertens writes, have there been instances where you hated the trailer but loved the movie?
Oh, tons.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Tons. Every, at least once a month.
The one that comes to mind and we talked about is when 22 Jump Street, the trailer came out. We were all like, oh God, maybe this isn't going to be that good. And then the movie was so great. So
Yeah.
it happens all the time.
Or
One
the
of the-
Amazing Spider-Man 2. The trailers were great. Then you
Well,
see
that's
the
the
film.
reverse, though. That's the
Yeah.
reverse. I mean, for
When a
trailers
trailer
that were
sucks,
awful,
and then you love
Oh,
the
I
movie.
see.
that I mean, one of the biggest ones that has happened the last couple of years was Dread. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
those trailers were just terrible.
All you need is kill, everything
Yeah,
is
oh,
love, die,
yes.
repeat. What was it called?
Edge
World
of
is Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, Live, Die,
Edge of
Repeat.
Tomorrow, horrible title. Horrible trailers.
Yeah.
Great
Amazing
movie.
They didn't
film.
sell that enough that it wasn't like Oblivion. And sometimes comedies too, which I actually like when they do, they don't give away a lot of the jokes in the
Right.
trailers. I remember seeing the ads for the first Ace Ventura film when I was a kid, being like, oh, the guy from In Living Color, this doesn't look funny at all. You get in
Oh
the
my
theater,
God.
it's a very different
Yeah.
situation. So when comedies don't give away all the jokes, sometimes that means they're going to be the funniest movies.
I'm looking for Ray Finkel. And a clean pair of shorts. Sorry, I have to say it. It's like if you talk about Ace Ventura, I have like Tourette's. That's the problem.
Why is it I only think of, whenever somebody mentions that movie, I just think of Tone Loc. I don't know why.
Hey everyone, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC movie talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.